All right, this video is student handout number 6, mixed practice with rational numbers. The introduction. At Eastside Middle School, students compete in the school-wide mathematics bee. There are 4 rounds with different tasks that students participate in, earning points for each correct answer. Round 1, determine which missing number on the left will make a true statement on the right. So we have our answer choices, and then we have 5.05 plus what number is 13.25. So let's subtract those and see what we get. We got 13.25 minus 5.05. And that's 0 and 20. And that's 8/20ths. And that's not an answer choice here, but 8/20ths as a fraction is 8 and 1/5. 20 over 100 will reduce to 1/5. And if we do 5 times 8, that's 40. Plus 1 is 41/5. So our answer choice there is C. It's going to be 41 over 5. All right. B, we've got 11 and 4/5 plus 41 and 3/10. So to do that one, I'm going to put it right here. 41 and 3/10 minus 11 and 4/5. Change a minus to a plus, change the sign of next. So we've got 41 and 3/10 plus 11, common denominator 10. 5 going to 10 2 times, 4 times 2 is 8. That's different signs subtract. So when we subtract those, we cannot take 8 from 3. So we borrow 1 from the 41 and make it a 40 and put that 10 there, which makes 13/8. 40 minus 11 is 29. And 13 minus 8 is 5/10, which would be 29 and 1/2. So the answer here is 29.5. And the last one, we've got a negative 2 and 1/2 equals a negative 2 and 3/4. So we've got a negative 2 and 3/4 minus a negative 2 and 1/2. Change the minus to a plus, change the sign of next. Okay, and then we've got to make common denominators. So 2 and 3/4 plus 2, and then make that a 4, which would be 2. And then when we subtract those, a 2 and 3/4, a negative 2 and 3/4 plus a 2 and 2/4 is just equal to a negative 1/4, which is an answer choice that we have there. All right, in round 2, solve each problem. Use your number in the box from the first problem to represent the missing number in the next problem. Then use the solution from the second problem for the missing number in the last problem. So if we do those, we're subtracting again. And that's just 8/10. So we've got 40 and 8/10 minus 14 and 1/10. Okay, let's change a minus to a plus, change the sign next. So when we subtract those, a 40 minus 14 is 26, and 8 minus 1 is 7/10. So the missing number here is going to be 6, and then that 6 is brought up here. Here we have 26 and 1/2 minus 19 and 6/10. You got to know your decimal place values. Change the minus to a plus, change the sign of next. So we've got 26, common denominator 10. 2 goes into 10 5 times. 5 times 1 is 5. Plus a negative 19 and 6/10. We can't subtract 6 from 5, so we're going to borrow 1 from here, make that 25, and add the 10 here. And this is second grade work because I just did this past summer with my granddaughter. And 25 minus 19 is 6. 15 minus 6 is 9, with a common denominator of 10. So that is 6.9. And then the 9 would come here. So we have 9 7/10 minus 12, and then we've got to find the common denominator of 10. 5 goes into 10 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. Change the minus to a plus, change the sign on next. And to do this one, I find it easier to, because even if you borrow, it's still not going to be, right. Well, if I borrow one, that's going to make 17, but still, so let's make them improper. 10 times 9 is 90, so that's 97 tenths. Plus 10 times 12 is 120, plus 4 is a negative 124 over 10. And a negative 124 minus 97 is a negative 27 over 10. 10 goes into 27 2 times, with 7/10 left over. Round 3. Solve the problems below to find the mystery word needed to begin the fourth and final round of the mathematics B. Number 1, Beth measures the temperature of a solution in the science lab to be negative 71.8 degrees Celsius. It is then heated up by 50 degrees. What is the temperature of the solution after heating it? We've got a negative 71.8 plus 50. It's different signs, subtract. So we subtract 71.8 minus 50 and we get 21.80. The 71 has the largest absolute value, so its number stays negative. Number 2, Mr. Roy overdrafted his account by $25.60 and then is charged $10.35 fee by the bank. What is the change in Mr. Roy's bank account? So we've got a negative 25.60, and we have to add that charge to it. I gave y'all an example of this in class the other day. That is same sign, add and keep. And when we add 25.60 and 10.35 together, we get 35.95. Same sign, and we keep the negative. Number 3, Raul pays for 3 muffins with a $10 bill. Then cashier gives him $2.86 and change. What was the cost of the muffin? So we want to take the $10 and subtract the $2.86 change he got back. So we have to borrow all the way across. 10 minus 6 is 4, 9 minus 8 is 1, and 9 minus 2 is 7. That's what the 3 muffins were. We want to know how much one of the muffins were. So 3 goes into 7 2 times, which would be 6. Bring down my 1. 3 goes into 11 3 times, which is 9 and 2. Bring down my 4. 3 goes into 24 8 times. So one muffin here is $2.38. Number 4, Finley is making a pancake recipe that calls for 3 1/4 cups of flour. He uses 1 1/2 cups of wheat flour, and the rest will be, white flour, and the rest will be wheat. How many cups of wheat? So we have to subtract. Right, we've got to do common denominators. 2 goes into 4 2 times. Okay, change the minus to a plus, change the sign of next. All right, we cannot take 2 for 1, so we're going to make that a 2 and add the 4 here, and that'll be 5. 2 minus 1 is 1. 5 minus 2 is 3. So it's 1 3/4. Let's go back and put these answers. The answer number 4 is going to be R. Number 3 was E. Number 1 was Z. Number 2 was P. I bet we could go ahead and put an I right there. And then 5, Vera attends piano lessons twice a week for 1 1/2 hours each. She practices at home for 2 3/4 hours each week. How many hours does Vera play her piano? So she's got 1 1/2 hours plus 1 1/2 hours because she practiced twice a week, plus the 2 3/4 hours. So we got to add those together with a common denominator of 4. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 times 1 is 2, so that's the same. So we got 1, 2, 4, 2, 4, and 7/4. And then we can add 1 here, so that's going to make that 5 3/4 hours. All right. I want you to star this problem. This is one like you may see next week on the check-in, where we wouldn't have gotten to the check-in. I may show y'all this one Monday or Tuesday in class. So let's number these. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, -1, -2, -3. So C is 5 minus B, which is 3. That answers 2. So it's going to be positive. C is 5 plus B is 8. So that's positive. A -3 plus 3 is 0. So that's equal to 0. We would equal. Then we have a -3 minus 3. That's plus a negative. So that answer is going to be negative. Then we've got A, -3 minus 5. Change the minus to a plus, change the sign of next. That's negative. The opposite of a -3 is 3, so that's going to be positive. C is 5 minus a -3. Change the minus to a plus, change the sign of next. That's going to be positive. And then a -3 plus a 5, different sign, subtract. That's going to be 2, so that's going to be positive.